Welcome to the Black Sparrow Media Internet Broadcast Network.
You are listening to Linux in the Ham Shack. LHS is a podcast about Linux, open source, and amateur radio, for everyone. Now here are your hosts, Cheryl, W5MOO, Russ, K5TUX, and Bill, NE4RD.
Well, hello everybody and welcome. You have tuned in to episode number 578 of Linux in the Ham Shack. This is the Weekender edition, and it's the 128th edition of the Weekender, and I'm pretty sure I said last edition was the 128th edition of the Weekender, which was completely wrong. So if you got that last time, please be aware that last time was the 127th edition of the Weekender, because I can't math, and this is actually number 128. So we're going to do a random topic for you tonight, and it could be a hedonistic topic, could be Linux, could be amateur radio, could be any number of things. And then we'll dive headlong into hedonism down towards the bottom of the show, and we have a great group lined up here live for us tonight. So we'll go ahead and get to it, and before we do that, we'll introduce ourselves for the possibly on assignment Cheryl, W5MOO. She might show up later. I'm Russ, K5TUX.
And I'm Bill, NE4RD.
All right, so we are here, and we should just dive into the topic. I've got the picker wheel loaded up here, and we'll see how terrible it sounds tonight, and we'll see what kind of mess we get ourselves into with the topic that it chooses. So here we go. And no audio at all.
Ding, 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 ding. Pop, 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 pop. Kaboom.
Bang. Okay, well, this is a philosophy question, I guess. Not a philosophy question, but not a technical topic, and it's not hedonism either.
Uh-oh.
So this is, what does your operating week look like? And Bill's going to say, I don't do ham radio, so that's...
Oh, boy. Yeah. Lately, it's been that way.
Do you want to chime in, since you're obviously going to bug out on this one?
Well, I mean, I will, for all honesty's sake, my last contacts were on the 31st of January, so I haven't been doing a lot on the ham radio thing, and it's mainly because, my dog ate my ground radio system off of my big vertical, and I've been using my side vertical, my portable vertical, which I don't even know which band it's actually tuned for. I just plugged it in because I was like, it's out here. Let me plug it in. I don't think the dogs will eat this one because it has an elevated radial system. And it doesn't work on very many bands. And I really haven't kind of gotten out there because of, winter being a thing. Normally at wintertime, if antennas have problems, I generally wait until a good day in spring to get to it. So, which probably will mean, I'm going to try to get my antennas working, or get an antenna working, so I have like a connected demo station for Hamvention. Otherwise, I'll be running a PowerPoint or whatever slide presentation thing on my computer. But normally, I mean, you can look at my logs on my Wavelog site, and yeah, I mean, mainly I would play around at the FT8. Occasionally, we'll slip into some CW, and generally not voice at all, unless I was doing a voice contest. But I'm generally an active contester. So I don't really have like a daily routine of ham radioing. It's generally just when I'm sitting in front of the right computer to mess around with it, I guess.
So like back in January when you were actually doing stuff, what did you do? I mean,
It was
I know
just
you
15.
sort of briefly summarized it there, but
yeah. I mean, primarily my system. Actually, my radio is on right now. It's been on probably for the last year. So I don't turn anything off. And occasionally I remembered that, oh yeah, I'm a ham radio guy and I should, actually turn on my rig control and see what's out there and stuff like that. But since I've been having the antenna woes this winter, I haven't done anything because I'm just lazy and don't feel like going out in the yard and trying to figure out how I'm going to do a new ground radio system without letting the dogs chew it up again.
Just bury it a little deeper, or are they really going down for it?
Well, they dug them out of the yard, so everything was buried. It's just they started pulling, one dog, it was pulling it off of the actual where it connects to the antenna itself. So it's raised where it connects there. So it started pulling it off the antenna. It bit the feed line going to it and took that off. And then it slowly ripped out the gradials out of the ground because it's a psychotic dog. It ripped it from one end to the other. And my wife was finding all these green cables all over the yard. She's like, what is this? And the dog's running around with. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's my radial system. That's not supposed to be above the ground.
Well, I'm glad my antenna's up on the roof and doesn't require radials. Well, not that I have dogs that would run out and dig them up, but I guess it's a little simpler for me. Although the strong winds that have come up over the past few months have caused my Roan push-up tower to bend. It hasn't bent enough to come down, but I have to get some guy lines on it and kind of pull it back to something close to vertical before too long. So, but at least I can still operate with it. It's only leaning over about 10 degrees, so it's not too bad. And since it's a dipole, it's bent over sort of perpendicular to the direction of the elements, so it's not even really losing any height. So,
well, that's very nice.
Yeah, I think the fact that it's bent over right now is keeping it from bending over any further, because I think the elements are pretty taut at the moment. So, but yeah, got to go straighten it up one of these days. So anyway, with that antenna, I do operate. Luckily, I work from home. Bill works from home too, but he's always out and about and somewhere where there's no radio.
Yeah, I'm at my downtown office generally.
Right. But I actually work sitting right next to my shack. So it's really easy for me to jump on and do some FT8 work. I try and, keep my waterfall up and out of the corner of my eye. And if I happen to see like a POTA activator, I will jump on and usually try and work them. I do my best to stay off of 20 meters. I try and work everything above 20 meters. 17, 15, 12, 10, and 6 whenever possible. And of course at night, drop down to 40 and 60. I can do 80, but I for some reason I don't hear a lot on 80. So, but the FTA is where I hang out most, because I can be doing that while I'm working, actually making contacts around the world. And there's this elusive 9-something station out of Kuwait that I see all the time and can never contact them. So I'm hoping one of these days I'll get that one. But then if I'm not particularly busy and not particularly focused on work, I actually will turn on the other radio and switch over and try and do some single sideband work. Just roaming around looking for POTA activators, QSO parties, random entities, whatever, and do some voice. Very rarely I'll switch over and try and do some CW, usually only for POTA or if I have a sked with somebody. And that's pretty much how I do it. I mean, I have the repeater here, so I'm on Fusion, and I do have some local other repeaters around, so I have the VHF and UHF powered on as well, although there's so little traffic on there. And most of it is after work hours, the evening nets and whatnot. So I usually only jump on VHF and UHF if I'm driving around and happen to be out and about, after hours when people are actually talking, because people very rarely talk during the day around here, except for the local repeater that's on the state highway patrol tower 6 miles from here. So, of course, it's loud and proud in my shack here, and it's all politics all day long, so I tend not to listen to it. So, but yeah, if it's not FT8 and single sideband HF work. I'm not really doing a whole lot right now. I still have this project where I want to get set up for the trunking system with my SDRs, because I actually have 4 SDRs I have bought that I want to plug into so I can have 4 simultaneous decodes.
Cool.
I have not gotten around to that. And then otherwise, I'm not really doing a whole lot. And I can speak for Cheryl. This is a good time for Cheryl not to be here because she doesn't do any radio. So her operating week is null. There is nothing going on there. So we can make that short and sweet for her. I can't even get her. Like if we're driving around and there's a net, just like even a check-in net where all you have to do is throw out your call sign and say, blah, 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 mobile, and no comments or whatever. I can't even get her to do that. So one of these days we'll break through that ice wall, but so far, no go. She'll talk to anybody in the world if there's face to face, but put a mic in front of her, it's like, nope.
Yeah. I mean, it could be kind of scary, Mic fright is a real thing.
No, yeah, I understand, but I don't understand why it is with her, because she'll talk to anybody, like, about anything. And it seems like that's a perfect setup for amateur radio. So
yeah. Get her on 75 meters. That'll be.
Oh yeah, no. I'm not going to get her onto like what is that 30? What is the one that's always the troublemaker?
3945. Is that what it is?
I don't know. There's one where it's just all I hear is bad things. But no, we'll start her off with something easy. Maybe a 15-meter pod activator or something. Just to,
there you go. Well, she's done the. Didn't you guys do the contest thing together that one time with the SCARC or whatever, the Southern Missouri?
Oh, the SMARC thing. Yeah, we did the Route 66. Yeah, but she only logged. She didn't do it.
Oh, she didn't get on the radio. Oh, okay.
No. Nope. But
well,
yeah,
I am planning on running mobile HF while I'm when I make my trip to Hamvention this time. So that'll be nice. I think I have everything to make the hookup and stuff like that in the rental car, because I figure I'll just destroy their roof, not mine.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll be on 4652 obviously, but I won't be doing any HF. I don't have anything set up for mobile HF at this point, so that's something I want to work on, because I want to set up something for doing POTA activation, something that can be like a quick and dirty, pull out an antenna and throw something up in a tree, or a quick vertical mount or something for doing HF. But I also haven't had any real desire to do mobile HF, so we'll have to see how that goes. Plus, Cheryl is like really against putting radios in cars, especially if it's going to cause a hole or something. So I have to be careful with that. And, HF rigs, even the ones that have the disconnected heads, can take up a lot of room and require some mounting to be addressed. Yeah, I could do something with like a receiver hitch mounted antenna, which would eliminate holes and that kind of thing. So, I mean, it can be done. It's just I haven't put any time and effort into it so far. It's mobile HF not on my radar at the moment, but hopefully someday. And that's really all I've got about that. I mean, I used to do. I went back in my logbook, like when I very first started in amateur radio back in the early '90s, and everything in that logbook is CW. Everything.
Oh, yeah.
All I did was CW, and it's like now I can barely do it even if I wanted to.
That's what my early logbook looked like too. But that was a different time then too, as well.
Yeah, it was. I know that was when I was first learning and stuff, and I would get on and just put my thing out there at somewhere around 7 words per minute and see who would come back and deign to bring themselves down to such a slow sender. But I did make a lot of contacts. I do have quite a few, and I am slowly getting them thrown into Wavelog, so they'll all be out there for people to see. And I think I mentioned this before on the show, but the funny thing is, a lot of the contacts I made as a CW operator when I was first starting in the hobby were in 5 land and 0 land. So most of the contacts I made were with people who are here where I live now. So it's pretty cool. So now I spend all of my time trying to make contacts where I used to live. So, but that's neither here nor there. So let's see, is there anything in the chat room? I think someone's trying to make a contact with Darren. What's a good band for Darren right now? Because we're nighttime. I don't know. I don't know what Western Australia. I don't have my vocab handy for that direction at the moment. But anyway, well, I think we've run that topic out. Actually,
Yeah, it's probably good enough. I mean, I hope to get more active once I get my antennas working back up, but it'll probably be the same. I'll probably just dink around on FT8, maybe try to catch up on some of this POTUS stuff you guys are speaking so highly of.
Yeah, I enjoy it because it's such an easy thing to do, and I hate to say that because it's it's like, oh, you're really doing it because it's easy. Well, it kind of really is the reason. But you also get to contact all these places because there are so many people doing it. It's really fun, and it's kind of like an award a day program. Because I think just for making a contact today, I'm going to get the park commemoration day award or something for this weekend. So they keep you interested for sure. And there's a question in the general chat, which was a great question, but it's kind of outside the scope of the show, so we'll have to address that later. But yeah, I want to get around to that because he is listening, or was. I guess he is not. No, he's still there. Yeah, okay. So yeah, we'll address that question, or somebody will address that question in the general chat later, I'm sure. Anyway, I guess that brings us down to the end of that topic, what our operating week looks like. Let's see, it's Monday, Australia, 8:38 a.m. I don't know. So 15 meters are probably, 15 meters because propagation is not from here. So I don't know. Might be a 40-meter thing down to Australia right now.
Yeah,
anyway,
lots of Western Australia too, so it's a little different time. Yeah.
All right. Well, good luck with that. And we're gonna slide into hedonism. And unfortunately, Cheryl has not shown up, so I guess I'm gonna be doing the recipe corner for tonight. And hopefully, this is like semi-readable and not AI generated. But I think this is a recipe we're going to be trying in the next couple of days. We haven't done this one yet, but it's definitely on the list. So she put in here Cajun Hasselback chicken. And Hasselback, from my understanding, is chicken where you take like a breast and you slice it in like an accordion fashion, and then you stuff things in the slits, and then you bake it that way. We've tried a couple of different versions of this. An Italian one and just a regular one that had like stuffing and garlic and stuff like that, and it's really great to do it that way. And it also allows the chicken to cook kind of fast because you've already opened up sort of the center of the chicken breast, so it usually comes out really nice and juicy. But Hasselback chicken has so many ways to prepare it, but I was looking to change it. This is her now talking. To change it up, and this is what I came up with. It's our Tuesday night dinner menu. See, I was close. Along with garlic butter, shrimp stuffed portobello mushrooms. Oh, looking forward to that. And Cajun spiced rice with creamy gumbo sauce to go on anything that looks like it needs a sauce, which of course is everything. The ingredients for this are 1.5 pounds of chicken breast, halved, boneless and skinless, of course, unless you just like work. 4 ounces of Monterey Jack pepper cheese, sliced into thin 1/4-inch slices, 2 tablespoons of Cajun seasoning, 1/2 cup of spinach cooked, salt to taste, pepper to taste. And she doesn't like to read the actual directions. I guess you have to go to the show notes for that. So if you, and they are there in their complete form. So if you actually wanted to prepare this dish, you would be able to from the show notes. So check it out there. And she also threw in a rum old fashioned for her mixed drink corner. I like the idea of an old fashioned, and a rum one sounds interesting. Her description is, let's add a new twist on the classic old fashioned. Usually you twist some orange into an old fashioned. Good stuff. The ingredients on this: 3 orange wedges, 3 Luxardo maraschino cherries. Ooh, Luxardo. Expensive. 1 sugar cube, 3 dashes, Fee Brothers Black Walnut Bitters. I wonder if that's because they're the only people who make such a thing. And 2 ounces of Pussers. Yeah, okay. British naval rum.
That's good rum.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I haven't tried it. Fill an old-fashioned glass with ice, set aside. Put rum in glass. Combine 2 of the orange wedges, 2 of the cherries, and the sugar cube and the bitters in a mixing glass. Muddle the sugar cube with the other ingredients until the sugar dissolves. Add the rum and a scoop of ice to the mixing glass. Stir for 40 rotations, not 39 and not 41.
Yeah, this isn't a PCR test.
Empty the old-fashioned glass and then double strain the cocktail into the glass and garnish with the remaining orange wedge and maraschino cherry. So, yeah, that sounds good. We have lots of good rum here. We just don't have Pussers, so we'll have to give this one a try.
Yeah, Pussers is pretty basic rum. I mean, it's not very expensive either. I used to go to a bar in Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina, that they really like Pussers there. So most of their rum drinks were always with Pussers.
Oh, very good. Yeah, we have some really good stuff. But yeah, I'll have to give this a try. Do you have a whatever corner so I can stop talking for at least a minute?
I was going to talk about this beer I had, but it's so bad. But you'd appreciate it bad because it's a double IPA.
Yeah,
it's a double IPA, and it's hideous. This is a Boneyard Beer double IPA. It's called Hop Venom. It has a picture of a nice snake with, I don't know, hop as its tail, as its rattle. So, it's stupid looking. This is out of Bend, Oregon, and it is at, let's see, what's it, 9% alcohol per volume. And it tastes like, I don't know, it's probably old. It was a free beer. I went to a grown-up Easter egg hunt yesterday at my favorite bar, and picked up a few of the eggs and came home with a couple bottles of wine and this beer and some other stuff for the prizes. They use it basically as a way to, do an appreciation to their customers, and also a way to get rid of all the old stock out of the cooler. So, stuff that's not selling, singles of cans and stuff like that. It's kind of a cool, fun event. There was a ton of people there. The bar across the street also paired up with them as part of a group thing. So there was 100 and some odd people there. It was crazy. I just picked up 5 eggs and then walked into the bar and said, "I'm done." I am not running all over these campuses to figure out where the hell all the eggs are. So since I did that and it's not so great, I decided to pull out. I ordered the nubber load again, so I'm smoking here a nice nub Habano, and it's quite nice. It pairs nicely with a bad beer.
Well, that's something, I guess. The next couple of days here are actually supposed to be nice. We're supposed to be out of the cold, stormy BS we've been having for a while now, so I will probably head out and have a smoke tomorrow as well. I don't know what it will be, but it will be something. Nice. Because, luckily we're in a high spot here, because if we weren't, we would be underwater.
Oh, jeez. So much rain coming through the area. I saw you had the tornado warning earlier.
Yeah, it's been stupid. But hopefully one of these days this week I'll actually be out and get to mow, because I haven't had a chance. I mowed right before we left for Disney World and have not been able to mow since.
Wow.
Anyway, to finish off for tonight, I have my drink corner, and what I have here in front of me is a bottle of Starward single barrel single malt Australian whiskey. This is my second ever Australian whiskey. This one's actually distributed in the United States, where the other one is not. At least as far as I know, it is not yet distributed here. And this one was a barrel pick that was done by a personal friend, actually, who actually put some money, ponied some money up and did a barrel pick. And I actually picked up one of the bottles to help him out, because barrel picks are not cheap. And this was actually distributed by a distributor out of New York, and it showed up a few days ago. And so I have it. The description on this from the Starward website is whiskey for the modern curious drinker. Our distillery is nestled in the heart of Melbourne, Australia, not the outback or a sunshine-soaked beach. Melbourne is a bustling city that celebrates unique cuisines and cultures. Here we ditch the airs and graces and focus on flavor instead. That's why we use red wine barrels to mature our whiskey. We source all our whiskey ingredients from just a day's drive away, which you found out earlier is from the Barossa Valley, which is east of Adelaide. Our whiskey, then the wildly varied Melbourne weather, our whiskey draws out its signature fruity, delicious flavor in just 3 short years. We call this elemental maturation, and it's why we couldn't make our whiskey anywhere else, or because you live there. you know, our Melburnian founder, David Vital, grew up in a big Italian family. He was born and raised around a food-obsessed, flavor-forward dinner table, and he knows our whiskey feels right at home at those moments spent enjoying a meal with others. I have not had it in that context, but I have had it. So this is a single malt Australian whiskey. That means it's made of 100% malted barley. Comes out of Melbourne, as we said. The wine casks come out of the Barossa Valley. It's 110.6 proof or 55.3% alcohol. This is the single barrel version and the barrel proof version. And there is a non-barrel proof version of this as well in the Solera casks. And yes, the 3 years of maturation on this actually does quite a lot for the whiskey. It actually does not taste young, where other whiskeys that I have had that are aged for about this length of time do. The color on it is a full caramel color. They say on the label that it is not chill filtered. However, I have a feeling it's caramel colored, but I won't swear to that. But it seems awfully dark for 3 years of maturation. So the nose on it is very nice. It's fruity, vanilla with cherries, red grape, blackberry, and caramel. The taste on it is creme brulee, blackberry, pears, honey, grappa, and oak tannins. A very nice combination and very sweet and fruity for its young age. Has excellent character. And the finish on it is a little warm, medium length with vanilla, hints of oak, and dark fruit as it goes away on the palate. But overall, for the price on this, I think the bottle was like $65, and of course I had to throw in a little bit for shipping, so it's not bad for a barrel-proof whiskey, and I'm not sure how available this is. Obviously, you won't be able to get this particular bottle unless you buy it from the same person I bought it from, but they do have other barrel picks out there, and of course they have the non-barrel-proof one as well. So I'm sure they have similar character, but this is actually really, really good for the length of maturation and for what it is. I'm enjoying it quite a lot, and I'm going to give it a rating of 90 out of 100. So very good, and certainly well within the price range for something as good as this. I might bring this one to Convention.
Cool.
All right. You know what? That brings us down to the end of the show.
Woohoo.
Let's see. Darren says if he could be anywhere in Australia, Melbourne would be the last. But that's where the Australian Open is, and I really like tennis, so I don't know. I'd have to go there. I wouldn't say I'd live there, but I would have to go. So
at least once, right?
At least once, yeah, for sure. All right. Well, I'm going to let you wrap the show up. You can go through segment 3 and 4 here. It will only take a moment, and it won't hurt too bad.
Oh, yeah. So in our announcements and feedback section, we have our normal, please help support the show. Join us on Patreon. We have a PayPal link as well. There's merchandise available on the website you can find. Topics, we're always looking for more topics for that picker wheel. Maybe we need a new picker wheel, too, that sounds properly through the board. And we are over 1,000 subscribers now on YouTube. And as we've said before, we'll eventually do some other content on there besides just posting the show. There are some older segments on there that are very outdated at this point. And I have been like sort of recording stuff on and off to go on there. I just haven't gotten to actually just making a video with the recordings and then throwing it up there. So I don't know. I might just throw some live stuff up there too, just because half the time that's what I'm doing. I'm setting up a system and I just stream it live and kind of go through the stages and stuff like that. So maybe you'll find that on YouTube in the near future. If you have any suggestions, please reach out to us and send us some feedback. Now to our segment 4, new subscribers, new supporters, and live participants. We have nobody new on Patreon to mention. We do have a free Patreon, RMRF My Ex. No one on Facebook has joined us, Twitter or X. No one there, no one on Instagram. But over on Mastodon, we had Anna, VK4NNA, join us. On Blue Sky, we had WI9LL. I thought that we mentioned that one last time, unless they joined us on a different one last time.
I don't know. I threw it in there just in case. And I also want to throw in here before you finish this list. If anybody wants to turn off their ad blockers for a second and click on the ad link on the right-hand side of the webpage, it would really also, I mean, we're like cents away from getting a check from Google. So if you just turn it off for a second, click the ads a couple of times, and then we can get paid. And it doesn't cost you anything. So there you go.
Yeah, just spin up a different browser, right? So you don't have any tracking on it. And on our live chat, we had quite a few people join us. We had Darren, VK6EK, Nate, WY0X, Diddy Dum Dum Diddy, Mike, K6GTE, Steve, KJ5T, Woody, KC1VOP, Eduardo, Papa Uniform 5, PEO, and Fred, KI5FQQ.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening to the show whenever it comes out, or if you happen to be here for the live one, we really appreciate that as well. We'll look forward to seeing everybody at Hamvention if you make it out this year. And of course, thanks for downloading. Thanks for listening. Thanks for participating in the social media. And if you happen to be a paid supporter, special thanks to you for helping keep the lights on. We really appreciate it. And with that, we'll let you get back to whatever it was you were doing. Hopefully there's a little bit of hedonism involved. And we'll catch you next week for our deep dive episode. And with that, this has been episode number 578 of Linux in the Ham Shack, the 128th edition of The Weekender. And for the, sadly, she didn't make it, Cheryl, W5MOO, I'm Russ, K5TUX.
That sounded kind of ominous.
Oh,
She
sorry.
didn't make it.
She didn't make it onto the show. She's fine. She's fine.
Jeez, that's terrible. And I'm Bill, NE4RD, 73.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Linux in the Ham Shack. LHS is a community-sponsored podcast. Live recordings are Sunday nights at 8 o'clock Central Time. Our homepage can be found at lhspodcast.info. You can support the podcast via Patreon at patreon.com/LHS podcast. We're also on Discord, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube and Mastodon. Contact us via email at info@lhspodcast.info or via voicemail at 190954777469. That's 1909 LHS show. We also have merch. So until next we meet, remember to always heed your hedonism.